if a person is going out to buy food,
Mhm.
either from a roadside vendor or someone outdoors, what are some things consumers can look out for when buying fried food that would indicate it was made in old oil or repeatedly used oil?
The first thing I think that is even the most obvious, even driving by someone who is preparing fried food, sometimes you get that smell of the oil that it tells you time to change this oil. The oil, you can get that rancid or sometimes that it's like a smoky type of smell, or a burnt. It's almost like if the food is burnt, you're getting that type of odor from it. That is probably not the place to buy that fried chicken or that fries, French fries at that point in time. It means that that person is coming up on the point of when they should be changing the oil. But the person themselves who is actually preparing the food, if you see that the oil in the pot looks like foamy, or it's smoking, you just put it on the fire, but it's starting to emit a lot of smoke, almost like if some oil actually got into the fire, or if the oil looks sticky or it looks thick and you have that dark color, it tells you it's time to change the oil. We all have to take on the responsibility of public health. And if we only look at the bottom line and we don't think about public health in the long term, we will be paying for it because somebody will have to pay for it, right? But in addition to that, that odor, that person standing there and preparing the food, and they're inhaling all those fumes that I just spoke about. These things can lead to the same heart disease, the same cancers, and cancers of the colon, colorectal cancer, the breast cancer, lung cancer, because you're inhaling all that fume. And the longer you keep that oil, it means you are exposed to that oil, to that fume a little longer. And that can be impactful on the vendor as well as the persons who are coming and standing there waiting for their food and also inhaling that smoke. We speak about secondhand smoke
Yes,
with
yes,
cigarettes.
yes.
So it's the same kind of effect. So you're standing there waiting for your food, and if you have to wait a while for your food, you're inhaling that. But I think even more of concern for me is the vendor that is standing there all day long frying this food and get inhaling all these fumes. And we have to be mindful of how we're harming ourselves as we're harming others.
Wow. Okay, so you mentioned that inhaling these fumes, consuming foods that have been prepared in frequently used oil or oil that's been standing there. You describe the color, the change of it. It's dark, it's sticky, it's smoky, and then also the fact that you are opening up yourself to various types of cancers, breast cancer, colon cancer, and if you're breathing in, perhaps your lungs as well are at risk. Are there any other health risks associated with consuming fried foods?
Of course, because when you're consuming foods that are fried, especially foods that are deep fried, you get a lot of fat, right? Besides the fact that it may not be the healthiest, you get a lot of fat, which means that you're possibly, let me not say you are, but you're possibly taking in more calories, more energy than your body actually need. So when we have I'm going to speak to school children because I observe them having a fried bake in the morning, having a fried chicken wing in the morning. That's a lot of energy, and they go and sit in class because they don't have PE every day. So they're sitting in class, and then outside is hot. So when they do get a break, they're still staying inside, and they have all these energy that they take in, and they're not burning it off. This increases your risk for gaining weight. And when you gain weight, the risk of developing the chronic diseases, the diabetes, the high blood pressure. And yes, we have children who have high blood pressure. And so we have to be mindful that consuming these foods, and I'm not saying again, don't eat anything fried, but you can't be doing this on the regular. It can't be on the regular, it has to be the exception.
So then, how can we shift towards a healthier way of cooking foods to avoid putting ourselves in these type of situations?
Well, you have, if you're doing chicken, you can do oven fried chicken. So you're not using all that amount of oil and so, Um, you can, even French fries can be done that way. Or if people have an air fryer, they can use that. So that you're having, if you're doing bake and you're doing fried chicken, maybe putting the bake in the oven and then you have the fried chicken. So at least you're reducing some of the fats and the oil that is required to be used for preparing both things, so that you have a complete meal that's fries, chicken, fried chicken, a salad, which is good, but on top of that salad is mayonnaise. So that's a lot, that's a high fat meal at best.